What's the crack? Welcome back. My name is Dan and today we're checking out a 4K action cam that costs about $50. The Crosstour 4K. So this is a 4K action cam that I bought from my friend a year ago or more, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. It's from a company called Crosstour. I'd actually never heard of them before. My friend told me about this. He bought it, couldn't use it, sold it to me. For about £40, which is about $50. I have to say though, this version I don't think they make anymore. I think they've updated it. So this has a 16 megapixel camera. It shoots 4K and it shoots 120 frames a second and 720. So how does it do? I took it out and did some tests with it to see whether or not it was any good, whether it was useful. Would you have it in your camera bag? And we'll look at that and just see what it looks like. The camera itself is pretty straightforward to control. It's only got a handful of buttons. The first one being a power on off button on the front here and an OK button for when you're using the menu, and two buttons on the side for up and down. And it's got the LCD screen on the back so you can see what you're shooting and scroll through the menu. Once you've used it a couple of times, it's pretty straightforward. It's a bit annoying having to go through the menus, it's very linear. On the other side, it's got a slot for a micro SD card, micro USB, and what I think is a micro HD slot. Never seen that before. And on the bottom is the little compartment for the battery. It comes with two batteries, so you can have them both charged, giving you more time to shoot with it. The lens itself is a 170-degree wide angle lens. I'm not sure whether that's standard for action cams or not. It's pretty wide. I don't know whether it's the widest I've seen, but we'll show you the footage in a second and you can make your own lens up. Also in the box it comes with a plethora of mounts. This one is for bicycle handlebars. Comes with a couple for helmets. They use, I think that's like the GoPro mount, so you can mount it to GoPro accessories as well. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure. And the mounts are plasticky. This one actually has rubber on the inside for where the handlebar goes. So I mean, they're okay. I haven't used them extensively. I have mounted it to a selfie stick and used it that way. But apart from that, I haven't had a chance to use any of these. I mean, you get a lot of mounts for what you're paying, so I think it's okay. You also get a waterproof housing for the camera, which at a first glance seems pretty decent. The camera just slots in to the back and folds up and clips shut. You can still fully control all the buttons. It has buttons on the outside of the housing so that you can turn it on, turn it off. More importantly, view the LCD screen. And the camera has a wide area at the front here, so it'll still capture the full 170 degrees. However, upon using it, I found that the built-in microphone is still picking up noise and sound, and it's a bit echoey inside. I'll show you that in a second in the footage. There was a point where I pushing this up against like a metal grate, and the reverb on the inside of the case was really quite distracting. It was very annoying, and the housing itself makes this just a little bit heavy, which I'm not a fan of. The last mount it comes with is an external mount where you can attach a clip to the back. You could have this clipped onto your backpack or shoulder strap or something like that. And the camera just sort of clicks in, like so. Which I think I prefer this way because the microphone picks up sound better when it's not enclosed in the waterproof case. This mount also has a thread on both ends, so you could have this threaded into a tripod or something like that, or a selfie stick if you use them. I don't know. And it's not too heavy. The clip itself doesn't weigh anything, so it's a much more manageable piece as one here. Does that make sense? Piece as one? I don't know. That's my preferred way of using this, and it just seems a little bit better. So the first mode I tested out was the 4K video mode. Without a case, I just had it in my hands like so, just shooting in my local park, some I don't know, the chickens or something, I don't know. This gave me a good opportunity to see what the camera looked like on its own and do a test of the microphone, the built-in microphone, to see what it sounded like when you played it back. It's okay, a bit pixely. I think it does the job for 40 quid, $50. I think it's okay. And not the best in the world. I don't know whether it would hold up against any other type of 4K footage, but make your own mind up. If you think it's worth it, check it out. Personally, it's probably the only way I would use it, and I'll explain why in a second. I also tested out the 720p 120 frames a second, and the difference is astounding. It slows things down. It is 120 frames a second, but at 720 it's really just not worth it. If it was in 1080, maybe it would be usable, but at 720p I don't think I'd be using that again. As I said before, I wasn't a huge fan of the waterproof case, and I did test it out. I put it on a selfie stick and put it in some water, and you get that reverb of the water sloshing around the outside of the case, and it kept the camera dry. It did protect it, it did waterproof it, and you couldn't really see very much. I don't know whether that was just the quality of the water, but there was that time I pushed it up against the grill and you could just hear the reverb going through the camera. I'll let you hear that now. The case itself is also just plastic, so it's quite prone to scratches and things. On the front here there's already quite a few scratches. I've only used it once, so it's not going to last very long, I don't think. The camera also says it has Wi-Fi on the front here. I don't know whether you can see that. I can't figure out how to turn Wi-Fi on. It's not in the settings or anything, so I don't know how useful that's going to be. I suppose I should read the manual or something, but it's not in the settings. You can't, there's nothing that says Wi-Fi on or off, which I think is a bit strange. If it has Wi-Fi, where is it? Would I recommend the Crosstour 4K Wi-Fi action camera? Probably not. I think I might use it a little bit more to see if I can eke anything else out of it, maybe push it a little bit, but if you were looking for an action cam, I would say maybe save up a little bit more, get something a little bit more expensive. I'm not saying something that's massively expensive like a brand new GoPro or something, but a $50, £40 action cam just isn't going to last very long. The quality isn't the best. For a little bit more money, you could get something a little bit better. Personally, that's what I'm going to do. That's my thoughts. If you've used this camera, let me know. What did you think? Or if you've got a better idea, a better budget action cam, do tell me in the comments down below. I'll maybe have a look at it myself. I think for $50, £40, you're getting a lot. It comes with loads of mounts, 2 batteries. It does shoot 4K, 1080p. It does shoot 120 frames a second. It does come with a waterproof casing. Just the quality just lets it down a little bit. That's what I'm saying. That about wraps it up. If you enjoyed this video or you found it useful, please hit the like button down below. It really helps me out. Also, if you have any suggestions for budget gear, it doesn't necessarily have to be an action cam, anything to do with photo or video, put them in the comments down below. Maybe I'll check them out. If you have a better idea for action cams that don't cost a fortune, do let me know. I'm always on the lookout for cheap gear. Say cheap gear, budget gear. And if you want to see more budget related video and photo gear, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for whatever's next. Thanks very much. See you next time.